Hey everybody, what is up? So I'm going to be answering your questions today. Couple things to overthink gaming. I had actually was making a separate video and I had technical difficulties, so I will talk about some stuff later on. I am actually going to show some stuff that I've painted. It's just more right now. Stuff is in storage, so we'll get more to that later. First of all, to Attack the E-Bigger show. I can't really talk about wrestling. I'm not really into. I'm not even really into sports that much. But I can answer your question as to why, in a lot of videos, you see me laying down. The biggest part really is when my cat Megers was alive. She always wanted to be laying next to me whenever possible, like literally, like on my side. And she'd have like her paws wrapped around my arm, and she'd want her belly scratched. So I got used to doing that. In a lot of the videos you saw me sitting up, she was asleep somewhere else, and so I didn't have to worry about that. And I've really gotten into the habit of I've been trying to kick it, um, just going years and years, making videos and doing things like that. Just the sticks with you, so it's a habit. So if I do it, sometimes please understand it's just me really trying to kick that habit. Thank you. Next up, we have Canadian Gamer. Favorite Stephen King book? Fan of Kubrick. Not a fan of Kubrick. I've only seen Clockwork Orange. Um, yeah, that movie was insane. His his way of doing things is kind of odd, in my opinion, mainly because of how he wants to set the tone. He really wants to have things happen. It's like what was I heard in The Shining of Shelley Duvall. Did not know Nicholson was going to be breaking into the room with the axe until he did it, because Kubrick wanted to get that reaction, and after The Shining, she stopped acting. It was like, wow. I don't blame her. I mean, that would scar you. My favorite Stephen King book, probably The Dead Zone. I know it's written under Bachman. I liked The Running Man. Well, I love the movie. But if you ever really want to see something like how people take things from one extreme to the other in terms of movies and books, I know it's written by King, but read the story Total Recall that the movie's based off of. It is so vastly different. It's kind of like with Blade Runner, there's so many differences. Thank you for the question. Next up, we have Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Favorite horror movie? Jeez. Probably. See, I never really, growing up, was allowed to watch horror movies. It was really mainly because it wasn't allowed in the house, so I never really got to see slasher films and that. If I saw anything, it was on late night TV, like late night, like the stuff they'd run to in the morning. We didn't have cable. Probably want to say the Evil Dead series, because I watch more comedy than anything else. I want to say Evil Dead series, Dracula Dead and Loving It. Van Helsing was a really great one. Brothers Grimm, I don't know if people count that as horror or not. That is really a very interesting one. There's another one that I can't think of. Legend of Sleepy Hollow was definitely an interesting take on the series. I'm trying to think if there's anything. I can't think of anything else at the moment. It's only because of the fact that. Yeah, I can't think of anything at the moment. I just think it's because of the fact that, like I said, I've only seen a limited amount of horror movies. Necronomicon. Actually, if you want something that's pure horror, yeah, you can find that one on YouTube. It is insane. Just the stories alone, that in the Mouth of Madness, good lord. Those are both highly worth watching if you can find them, if you can find them on YouTube. Especially in the Mouth of Madness. Yeah, that one takes the cake. Um, I think I've talked about it in a previous video. I'm actually going to be doing some talks on horror movies later on. Well, that's really about the only two. I mean, Necronomicon definitely, and In the Mouth of Madness. If you want to talk pure horror, those are the two that I really love. And let's see here. If you could be any animal, which animal and why? Come on, you know it. I love wolves. I just how beautiful they are. I mean, they're it's just astounding to watch them. I belong to so many different wolf-related groups on Facebook. When I was younger, I actually got to see a couple of Arctic wolves at wildlife deal one of the local places was putting on, and it was just insane to watch them. And they told people, don't make certain noises because we don't need them going off. There were kids like trying to howl at people like, no, you don't do that. Yeah, they're just incredibly beautiful. And if I ever won the lottery, I'd want to have a wolf preserve that, or just give chunks of money to some of these groups. I love them, you know, and I am one of the people that's like, hey, stop the hunting, stop the trophy hunting, just like any animal. Because my favorite story was um, lions who ate poachers. They were going after rhinos. That was just like hilarious. Sad that they were going to try to go after the rhinos, but was it rhinos or elephants? I think it was rhinos. Just to know that the poachers got eaten because they were being stupid. That's funny enough for me. I'd want to say, though, after wolves, probably like a macaw or an African gray. They're just so beautiful and they're so intelligent. It's just, and the thing is, people say, oh, they'll learn how to talk. No, they only learn to talk if they want to. And if they do, they learn primarily what they want to. Trust me on that one. Like, if you could be an animal like a macaw that could literally bite open a Brazilian nut, you could probably do a lot of damage. I wouldn't do that at first. I'd be the sweet type, because I'm sweet and innocent. But yeah, that'd probably be the two. Other than that, like if we go with aquatic, a giant squid, I would love that, Be the Kraken, just like go, frick, I hate the smoke. Don't be hunting in my waters. And when you ask the whole animal thing, I'm going to throw this out there. Not a lot of people know about her. There used to be this channel, Patamus, and she asked this question of, if you were a stripper, what would your stripper name be, and what would your song be? And I had to go with BB Wolf, Big Bad Wolf. And of course, my stripper song would have been Hey There, Little Red Riding Hood. I'll admit to it, and I miss Patamus's videos. I really do. And I was thinking about that, and when you asked about the animal thing, Mike, that made me go there. Thank you, Mike. So next we have Dick from Nothing Too Stupid. How's Agnes doing this summer? Still rolling for quarters? Dick will know what I'm talking about. If you could be a supervillain, what would your name be, and what powers would you have? I had to think about this a lot. I would want to be called the Mad Shepherd. Now here's where I would go with this. I would be a supervillain who would basically not be fully in the light. Like, I would make people think I'm low level when I would have, like, mind controlling power. So, like, if I wanted to, I could just wipe your mind instantly of any traces of me. Because I would set up a network of supervillains who aren't supervillains, make people think they are, feed them information to make them go out and cause trouble. I'd funnel their money, direct it to my own plans. So they'd be my flock. I'd be leading them. And if they got caught, I would just wipe myself out of their minds. So they would still think they were these supervillains, and if they remembered me, they go, yeah, some guy named the Mad Shepherd helped me, get into being a supervillain. They'd be like, come on, man, nobody's going to go by that name. And the other thing I would do is I wouldn't control them or anything. I'd like get into animals' heads. So like I could watch people as they're, try to track their routes and that. So if I wanted to have somebody like go after someone, I could time everything, and I could kind of like tell them, okay, go this way or that way. I know there are people that would use that for inappropriate purposes, but not this guy. I'm sure everybody knows what I'm talking about. Spying on people in the shower and that, which I wouldn't do. Let's get that straight. That is not my thing. Because animals are called, a lot of them are, so what fun would that be? But yeah, like you could use them to unlock doors. People wouldn't believe that, knock over cameras if they had them or whatever. It'd just be confusing the hell out of people. Thank you for that, Nick. I appreciate it. So, growing perspective, yes, your video got released, sub dead. I released a video for you, Overthink Gaming. I wanted to actually talk about yours last because talking about my painting, I know I've talked about the painting in the past, and I think you came into it after some of the stuff I talked about. I basically paint model kits, like miniatures, certain other things because my drawing sucks. I don't have a lot of room for canvas work in that. The reason why I do a lot of my model kits is because it's more of an expression thing, because there's so much stuff I see where people are going, well, you should paint it like this because this reference material says this or that. I get really sick and tired of that. So, like, I'm able, and once I can figure out technical stuff, I will take some shots of stuff or, show a video of what I'm working on because I want to have it seen. I did the resin video. The resin video that I did is actually me also trying to figure out how to do something for a piece that I'm working on. It's going to involve resin. I'll take, like, you can get these doll heads online. Like, people use them for dolls, but they put wigs on them, eyes and that. And to let you know, there's stuff that's packed up, so I really can't show you some of my work because I've got stuff going on both sides of the room, unfortunately. So to keep things going, there is stuff that's packed up. I primarily use like Vallejo, Warhammer paints. What else? Tamiya. Tamiya is something I use for certain models. Primarily because, and I'll show you one that I was able to get. This is not a model kit. I was in a dollar store. I was getting Snapple because it was cheaper at the time than at the gas station. And I live in a small town, so to get certain things, you have to drive to the next town over, which is like 20 minutes away, either side. And so I was there, and it was around after the holidays, and I saw this Stormtrooper, which is pure, looked like a regular Stormtrooper. And I picked him up. I don't remember what reason for it. I thought he looked great doing something else. And right now, and to me, a paint takes a long time to cure, especially with the skull. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. What the head I mean. It's still drying. There's not been enough light in here, and I don't have an airbrush because where I'm at, my room is on the second floor of the house. There's not a lot of ventilation. When I moved in, there's no AC really up here, so I have to try to make do with what I can. And even if I did paint airbrush, even if I tried to do it outside, my neighbors are doing construction, and so there's dirt now flying everywhere. At some point when I move next, I do want to get everything set up so where I can have an airbrush. That probably won't be for another year, hopefully, but soon. Yeah, so I was listening to The Cog is Dead, which is a steampunk band, and one of their songs is called Dr. Franklin. And I found this guy, I'm looking at him like, steampunk, this idea that this scientist is basically building these giant robots, and the size of this guy, I thought, like, why not? You know, he's flat brass currently. There's going to be some more color mixed in with it soon. I am going to make changes to certain parts of it, like this back part. Normally, when you look at a Stormtrooper, like certain parts are black. That is actually going to go away. I'm going to figure something else out for him. I'm trying to work out something with the eyes, actually, certain parts of the face. That's been one of the toughest things because of what I really want to do with this guy. Is actually going to be using him for a prop and something I'm working on, trying to work on the technical aspects of everything. So once I go to film, it'll be ready. Trying to really figure out a way. I'm gonna have to go on some forums, get certain things, trying to figure out how to get certain things to dry a little faster. The problem is, and I lost the footage of this, when I got him, yeah, I actually was looking at the plastic, like, why is the plastic not holding the paint? And I held it up to light, and I did this on video, and it accidentally got deleted. What happened was you could see light through the plastic, and it was nuts. So literally, this is probably the third coat of paint on this sucker. To me, a paint, even though it doesn't cure the best right away, you know, 3 coats, I'm down half a bottle for $2. That's not bad. Warhammer paints are a little bit more expensive. I didn't really prime him because I wanted to do a test coat with a couple of colors. It would not have stuck. It really would have sucked. I'm painting. Actually, I have the box. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not the color I'm going with. I do have Reaper Bones Cthulhu. The nice thing about Bones is it is inexpensive. It's a lot cheaper than metal. I think this guy ran me about $30. It's actually, oh, it's kind of weird how I got him. Had him for a couple of years, decided to paint him up. And if this was metal, you'd probably be looking about $70 or so. That's why I like Reaper. It's inexpensive. They're really great looking for what you get. And the company Dark Heaven, however you want to pronounce it. The Reaper is really done, like, it's a long story, but it's a certain type of plastic. You don't have to really prime it, which I love, because trying to strip paint from metal miniatures can be a bitch, for my language there, for what you try to do. But yeah, it's a great one. I actually have another project that I'm looking into, kind of. It's like a regular model, but I want to paint in a certain way, and I'm looking through a lot of different stuff. The Stormtrooper, like I said, is going to be part of a project that I'm going to be working on. Working on technical stuff with that one. There's going to be some filming involved. It's a script writing. I need to get a lot of stuff done, especially with him, by October. He probably will be done by September, if anything, because depending on how things go, I'll be looking at October filming, because in November I've got stuff I want to do. And this week, until the end of August, is going to be nuts for me in terms of doing a lot of stuff, which is movies, gaming, books, painting, because I've got the other side of the room where I'm like sorting through stuff to get rid of, stuff that's like that I painted in that. For this side of the room is packed up, and once I get him done, out of the way, I can go on. I think part of the problem, though, with the Tamiya paint not drying is we've had a lot of issues with rain, the humidity. It's not the fun time of the year, I can tell you that much right now. Just a lot of different stuff. So There are a lot of changes that are going to be made to this guy. I already got one video made. With the next, I need to get a different. There's a couple things I need to get for him. One of them probably is not going to happen until the end of August, so that'll happen in September. I want to have everything finished by the end of September, um, with him at least. But yeah, I mean, painting wise though, those are the three paints that I use. With Cthulhu, I'm painting the base right now in addition to the body, trying to get the colors I want layered. I'm actually trying to make the base look a lot different. I want to make it look like it's bloodstained with older, like different colors of red. Um, Trying to get some resins that I can work with certain things, trying to get the paints. I mean, the pigments actually for the resin are kind of hard to come by here in the States without them being a little costly. So I admit I get stuff from China because it's more cost wise is better. I'm only working part time right now because of health problems, so it gives me a little bit extra time for some of the stuff. Sometimes it doesn't. So less expensive stuff I can work with, which is why I work with Tamiya with him. I rambled on long enough. Sorry. I get this stuff going through my head, but definitely look up Dr. Franklin by The Cog is Dead. You can see where some of the inspiration came from. Steam Powered Giraffe, just the band itself in general, kind of sort of gave me a little bit of an idea for that. But that's it, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Take care. Bye.